History remembers the icons. We celebrate the familiar faces of progress. Figures like Martin Luther King Jr., whose "I Have a Dream" speech still resonates today, and Rosa Parks, whose simple act of defiance sparked a movement, are etched into our collective memory. But the fight for civil rights and social justice was won on the shoulders of many. It was a collective effort, a tapestry woven from countless threads of courage and determination. The marches, the protests, the sit-ins, these were not just the work of a few, but the result of the tireless efforts of many. Some stood in the spotlight, their voices echoing through generations. Leaders like Malcolm X and John Lewis, who spoke with passion and conviction, inspired millions to join the cause. Their speeches, their writings, their very presence became symbols of the struggle for equality. Others labored tirelessly behind the scenes, their contributions less known but no less vital. These were the organizers, the strategists, the everyday people who made phone calls, knocked on doors, and planned the logistics of protests and rallies. Their work was often unglamorous, but it was essential. This essay honors two such heroes, Claudette Colvin and Bayard Rustin. Claudette Colvin, a young girl who 9 months before Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. Her bravery as a teenager set the stage for the Montgomery bus boycott. These individuals dared to challenge injustice. Bayard Rustin, a master strategist and tireless advocate, was the chief organizer of the 1963 March on Washington. Despite facing discrimination within the movement due to his sexuality, Rustin's contributions were pivotal. They fought for equality, even when their efforts were met with silence or scorn. Claudette Colvin faced ostracism and legal battles, while Bayard Rustin was often sidelined. Yet they persisted, driven by an unwavering belief in justice and equality. Their stories remind us that every act of courage, every voice raised against oppression, contributes to the ongoing pursuit of a just and equitable world. It is a reminder that the fight for civil rights is not just a chapter in history, but a continuing journey that requires the efforts of each and every one of us. On March 2, 1955, 9 months before Rosa Parks's iconic act of defiance, a 15-year-old girl named Claudette Colvin refused to give up her seat on a Montgomery, Alabama bus. She was riding home from school, exhausted from a long day. When a white woman boarded the crowded bus, the bus driver demanded that Claudette and 3 other black passengers relinquish their seats. The other passengers complied, but Claudette refused. She knew her rights. She had been learning about Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth in school. In that moment on that bus, Claudette Colvin took a stand against the degrading system of segregation. Her act of defiance was not just a spontaneous decision. It was a courageous stand rooted in her education and understanding of civil rights. Claudette had been inspired by the stories of brave women who fought for freedom and justice. She felt a deep connection to their struggles and triumphs. Claudette's refusal to give up her seat was a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement. It highlighted the everyday acts of resistance that were crucial in challenging the status quo. Her bravery did not go unnoticed. Claudette was arrested and charged with violating segregation laws, but her actions sparked a wave of support and solidarity within the African American community. Despite the personal cost, Claudette's courage inspired others to take a stand. Her case became one of the first legal challenges to bus segregation, setting the stage for future actions. Claudette's story is a testament to the power of individual acts of defiance in the face of systemic injustice. It reminds us that change often begins with a single brave voice willing to speak out against oppression. Today, Claudette Colvin's legacy lives on as a symbol of youthful courage and the enduring fight for equality. Her story is a powerful reminder that the actions of one person can ignite a movement and bring about lasting change. Claudette's bravery continues to inspire new generations to stand up for their rights and challenge injustice wherever it exists. Claudette's act of courage was a pivotal moment in the burgeoning civil rights movement. At just 15 years old, Claudette Colvin made a stand that would reverberate through history. On March 2, 1955, she refused to give up her seat to a white person on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. This act of defiance came 9 months before Rosa Parks' more widely known protest. Claudette's bravery ignited local protests and caught the attention of civil rights leaders who were looking for a test case to challenge segregation laws. Her actions were not just a spontaneous act of rebellion, but a calculated move inspired by her education and the injustices she witnessed daily. Claudette had been learning about Black history and the U.S. Constitution in school, which fueled her determination to stand up against the oppressive system. Her defiance was a spark that helped to ignite the burgeoning civil rights movement, leading to increased activism and awareness. Her defiance, months before Rosa Parks' similar act, ignited local protests and caught the attention of civil rights leaders. However, Claudette's story was largely overshadowed. Some felt that her age, her dark skin, and her unmarried pregnancy at the time made her an unsuitable symbol for the movement. Despite these societal prejudices, Claudette's contribution was invaluable. She became a plaintiff in the landmark case, Browder v. Gale, which challenged the constitutionality of bus segregation in Alabama. This case was a turning point in the fight against segregation. Claudette's testimony and the courage of other plaintiffs led to a historic ruling. The court declared that bus segregation was unconstitutional, a decision that was upheld by the Supreme Court. This legal victory was a significant milestone in the civil rights movement, paving the way for further desegregation efforts across the country. Claudette's story is a reminder that the fight for justice is often carried out by those who are not always in the spotlight. Her courage and determination helped to lay the groundwork for the successes of the civil rights movement. While she may not be as widely recognized as some other figures, her impact is undeniable. Claudette Colvin's act of defiance was a crucial step towards equality and justice for all. Despite this, Claudette became a plaintiff in the landmark case, Browder v. Gale. This case challenged the constitutionality of bus segregation in Alabama and ultimately led to its demise. The courage of Claudette and others who stood up against injustice helped to bring about significant changes in American society. Their actions remind us that every voice and every act of defiance can contribute to a larger movement for change. This case challenged the constitutionality of bus segregation in Alabama and ultimately led to its demise. The courage of Claudette and others who stood up against injustice helped to bring about significant changes in American society. Their actions remind us that every voice and every act of defiance can contribute to a larger movement for change. Bayard Rustin was a brilliant strategist, a gifted organizer, and a tireless advocate for social justice. A close confidant of Martin Luther King Jr., Rustin played a pivotal role in shaping the nonviolent resistance strategies of the civil rights movement. His deep understanding of Gandhian principles and his experience in organizing large-scale protests proved invaluable. Rustin was a master tactician, able to unite diverse groups under a common banner of equality and justice. Despite his immense contributions, Bayard Rustin faced constant discrimination because he was openly gay. During a time when homosexuality was widely stigmatized and criminalized, Rustin's sexuality was used to discredit him and the movement he served. He endured arrests, imprisonment, and relentless attacks on his character. Yet Rustin remained steadfast in his commitment to justice, refusing to be silenced or pushed aside. One of Rustin's most enduring legacies is his instrumental role in organizing the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. This historic event brought together over 250,000 people to demand civil and economic rights for African Americans. Rustin's meticulous planning and strategic genius ensured the march's success. He coordinated transportation, logistics, and security, creating a powerful display of unity and determination that reverberated across the nation and the world. Claudette Colvin and Bayard Rustin, though largely absent from mainstream narratives, left an enduring mark on the fight for equality. Their stories demonstrate the power of individual courage to ignite change. Their unwavering commitment to justice, even in the face of adversity, serves as an inspiration to us all. They remind us that the struggle for equality is a relay race, with each generation carrying the torch forward. In a world still grappling with systemic racism, homophobia, and various forms of discrimination, the stories of Colvin and Rustin resonate deeply. They inspire us to challenge injustice wherever we see it, to speak truth to power, and to amplify the voices of the marginalized. Their legacies remind us that progress is rarely linear, and the pursuit of equality requires unwavering dedication, even in the face of setbacks. As we continue the march towards a more just and equitable world, let us remember the unsung heroes. Let us honor the legacy of Claudette, Colvin, and Bayard Rustin by embracing their spirit of courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to justice. Their stories remind us that change is possible when ordinary people find the extraordinary within themselves to stand up for what is right. May their examples guide us as we strive to create a world where equality is not an aspiration, but a lived reality for all.